Flight could now decide the fate of the world's most powerful warship. As new threats rise faster and deadlier, the U.S. Navy physics. In the age of drones and hypersonic missiles, the answer may no longer be a bigger gun. Find out with Navy secrets. Is not just the U.S. Navy's newest aircraft carrier, but the largest, most expensive, and most advanced warship ever built. $13.3 billion and weighing over 97,000 tons, this carrier rises more than 9. Its massive size and state-of-the-art design mark a new era in naval power. 60 aircraft during regular operations and has the space to hold up to 9 stealth fighters, electronic warfare planes, and support helicopters, giving it more air power than many countries' entire air forces. Its 5-acre flight deck is larger than 4 football fields and uses an electromagnetic aircraft launch system for steam catapults. Emails reduces wear and tear on planes and allows faster. What truly sets the Ford apart is its ability to launch. The ship runs on 2 A-1B nuclear reactors, generating more than triple the electricity of the older Nimitz-class reactors. These advanced power plants push the boat beyond 30 knots, or supply 300 megawatts of electricity, enough to power a small. This surplus energy isn't just for speed. Ford's high power output makes it the first carrier ready to support energy-hungry systems like next-generation radars, laser weapons. In the past, energy was a limitation. Now, it's a gateway to completely new capabilities. From networks, every part of the Ford is designed for tomorrow's battles, not yesterday's. It carries more, reducing crew needs and improving response time. More smoothly, increasing the number of sorties per day in combat. The ship, it's a signal. A message that American sea power is not standing still but preparing to dominate a battlefield that's changing fast. It needs more than size. It requires innovative systems, raw power, and weapons century. Next, we explore how Ford's nuclear technology that could redefine naval defense. The nuclear-powered R Ford is more than just a source of energy. It is the backup capabilities. At the heart of this floating fortress are 2, each much more powerful than the ones used in older Nimitz-class carriers. They produce around 300 megawatts of electrical power, nearly 3 times more than previous generations. This output level, it allows the Ford to support advanced technologies that older ships can't. The main advantage of this massive energy supply is flexibility. Warships often face limits when using robust sensors, radar systems, or electronic warfare tools. Ford can run all of these simultaneously without sacrificing any part of its mission. A massive edge in complex battles where detection, communication, and quick response are critical. Weapons that demand a lot of energy, like high-powered lasers. Unlike missiles or cannons, energy weapons rely entirely on stable. Using lasers on warships has existed for decades, but is that idea becoming practical? The constant reactors means these lasers can recharge quickly, fire repeatedly, and be used in long battles without running out of ammunition. Because this nuclear-powered energy also supports other onboard systems, like the electromagnetic aircraft LS, which replaces older steam catapults. Emails allows the ship to launch aircraft faster and with more control, making operations more efficient. Again, this is only possible consistently. What makes this truly important is how it changes the Navy's planning. Power use. But now the Ford can be fitted with future systems without changing it. That includes radar upgrades, communication tools, and experimental weapons. Ford's design looks ahead of years of warfare. This power advantage gives Ford its edge. The question is whether the Navy can turn this energy into real battlefield power soon enough to. One of the biggest threats facing U.S. Navy ships today comes from weapons that are and are nearly impossible to stop in time. Hypersonic missiles and battles are fought. These new weapons challenge traditional defenses. Without new technology, even a powerful carrier like the USS Hypersonic missile can fly at speeds over Mach 5 and follow unpredictable flight paths. Extremely hard to detect and even harder to intercept. When aiming, it may already be too late. These missiles are designed to break through layered defenses, hit moving targets, and carry enough. They don't follow making them a nightmare for defense systems that rely on prediction. And becoming more dangerous. Unlike hypersonic missiles, drones are slower but come in large numbers. Uncrewed aircraft can be launched cheaply and in waves, overwhelming. A single drone, but a swarm of 50 or more, flying low and fast, can confuse radar. When too many targets appear simultaneously, even the best missile systems and close-in guns can run out of time or threats. Even more serious is how quickly they are spreading. Countries with advanced military programs are testing and building hypersonic weapons parts to create cheap attack drones. That means U.S. ships could face both attacks in the same battle, forcing commander pressure. This new reality means traditional systems like surface-to-air missiles and CIW. They were built for slower threats, not weapons that fly faster than sound. Even advanced radar systems like Aegis can only do so much when the window for action is measured in seconds. To stay ahead of these, think how it defends its most valuable ships. It's not just about the future of defense now depends on faster, more, especially those that can react instantly. That's why the search for new solutions like laser weapons has become urgent. Laser weapons fire at the speed of light, need no ammunition, and can shoot continuously as long as power is available. This allows for near-instant response to fast-moving threats like drones or hypersonic missiles, so cost much less per shot than missiles. A single interceptor missile can cost millions of dollars, but each laser shot may cost just a few. This makes lasers much more effective threats like small drones that would typically require expensive weapons to destroy. Using high-cost missiles on low-cost, especially in a long war. The way lasers destroy their target of exploding, they use intense heat to burn through sensors, engines, or even missile casings. For example, a low-power laser can blind a drone's camera, while straight through its body. That kind of damage can stop an attack without the shockwaves or shrapnel of traditional weapons. These systems are their targets. Because lasers fire quickly and don't need repeatedly until the target is destroyed. That's a significant number of shots. Lasers could fill the gap between long-range, giving ships a more flexible line of defense. Still, laser weapons are not yet perfect. Their power depends on weather and the strength of the ship's power systems. But the progress could become a critical part of how the Navy defends its carriers shortly. Lasers might be the only defense to keep up as enemies build faster and smarter weapons. This laser system marks the first step in bringing laser weapons into active Navy service. with integrated optical dazzler and surveillance. Helios is modern threats like small drones and fast, low-flying aircraft installed on Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, showing that the U.S. Navy is moving from theory to real-world testing. Lockheed Martin, Helios has a 60-kilowatt output and is fully and combat system. This connection is faster than standalone systems. The laser can blind a drone's sense depending on how much power is used. That gives it flexibility during crowded or high-risk environments where traditional missiles might cause. One significant advantage of Helios is that it operates without missiles or bullets. That means ships can run out of ammunition. Since it uses only electric power, it can keep firing as long as the ship's. This readiness is essential during long deployments when resupply may not be possible. It also gathers intelligence. It's optical surveillance at long distances, even before the enemy fires a shot. More time to respond and improves the ship's ability to defend itself. Is a strong start. It still isn't powerful enough to stop high-speed missiles. These missiles move too fast and have tough outer shells designed to survive in at least 3,000 kilowatts of power for those threats, far beyond what Helios can deliver. Still, experts see Helios as a stepping stone towards stronger systems in the future. In the big picture, serious about building the next generation of ship defenses. Threat yet, but it's already useful against some of the most common dangers. The system prepare for more advanced lasers in the future. As technology improves, Helios could grow more powerful, or make waves path. To stop a laser that fires continuously and concentrates enough heat in a fraction of a second to pierce advanced heat-resistant shells. The cooling, beam focus, and megawatt-class energy supplies. Hypersonic missiles are built to survive intense heat and pressure. They can change direction mid-flight, making them hard to track and almost additional defenses. That's why a high-powered laser, need to predict where a missile will go next, is seen as one of the only tools to deal. But firing a 3,000 kilowatt laser is not easy. It demands a lot of energy and advanced cooling systems to keep the weapon stable. Navy can even think about supporting a system this large. Among them, the USS Gerald R. Ford 2A1B nuclear reactors. It produces 300 megawatts of power, enough to run advanced radar, weapons, and even powered lasers. Most other warships don't have this kind of energy supply, which makes Ford platform for future combat lasers of this scale. A 3,000 kilowatt system, it will mark a turning point in naval warfare. Such a laser could burn through the heat-resistant skin of hypersonic missiles. It could also take down multiple targets in a row without reloading. Today, this would change how the Navy fights and survives in China Sea or near hostile coastlines. The technology must reach maturity. Testing is ongoing, and researchers are still figuring out how to shrink the systems, manage the heat and combat conditions. It's a race against time, and against rivals like China, strike capabilities. In short, if America wants to keep its carrier safe from the fastest weapons ever built, laser is no longer an option. It's a necessity. The Department of Defense has made a bold choice. It has ended other weapon programs to focus all efforts on. Pentagon officially canceled 2 high-profile projects, railgun, halted in 2021, and the GLGP, gun-launched guided projectile, terminated after concluding they were no longer viable paths forward. But now, with new threats on the horizon, instead, the Navy and its partners put all their hopes and funding into laser technology. The railgun, for example, used powerful magnets to fire metal projectiles at extreme speeds without gun tests. The weapon faced serious problems with cost, barrel wear. Years of research showed that it was still far from being reliable for combat. P project, which was supposed to launch bright shells from Navy guns to strike targets from afar, also fell short. Its guidance system up with the enemy missiles' growing speed and flexibility. Compared to these, path. Lasers fire at the speed of light, don't by a ship's nuclear reactors, like those on the USS Gerald R. Ford. Once per drones, missiles, or even hypersonic threats with near-zero delay. That's why the Pentagon has shifted its money and scientists toward making this technology work. There's have already begun testing higher-powered systems that could eventually protect aircraft carriers and destroyers. In the past 2 years, sharply, and new prototype weapons are being installed for real-world testing. These systems are trained to work with ship radars and track multiple targets under pressure, even if they don't fully replace or the main line of defense. This is more than just a shift in budget. It's a strategic, especially from countries like China and Russia. They're fast, low-cost, hard-to-stop weapons. The Navy knows that defending its ships can no longer depend on older. Now, every dollar an expert once aimed at other technologies will lasers. This isn't just a bet, the future of American naval power. Current ship defenses enough to stop the growing threats coming from the skies. As missile tech, the Navy's traditional systems like CIWS and Aegis radar face. These systems were once top of the line, but they struggle to respond quickly to fast-moving and drone swarms in today's combat environment. Close-in weapon system is one of the U.S. Navy ship's last lines of defense. It uses a fast-firing Gatling gun to shoot incoming missiles or aircraft at close range. However, it can only track and has limited ammunition. Once the gun runs out, the ship is left exposed. To lock onto and fire at a target. Those seconds can against a hypersonic missile moving at Mach 5 or more. Radar systems like Aegis help strong enough to track hundreds of objects simultaneously and guide interceptor missiles to targets. But it can't guarantee a full shield against a wave of fast and low-flying weapons. A coordinated attack using drones, cruise missiles, and heights is quickly. Each interceptor missile costs millions of dollars. This is where lasers could make the most significant difference. They travel at the speed of light and can engage many threats quickly. While not yet strong enough, the lasers could take on part of the job, especially against drones and smaller missiles. That would allow other threats. Military planners now see laser defense. Instead of relying on just 1 or 2 systems, ships would use radar, intercept, and lasers all working together. The goal is to build a defense that can respond to anything, from faster than sound. The Navy hopes to mount soon more potent laser weapons to handle more serious threats. Until they are under pressure. To survive the next generation of missile attacks, America's ships will need possibly at the speed of light. The U.S. Navy's race to develop combat-ready laser weapons has become a matter of survival. As missile threats become more complicated, traditional defenses may not be fast enough to Gerald R. Ford. That's why laser technology is no longer just a plan. It's a mission. Conflict begins. In a battle where milliseconds matter, only lasers can react fast enough to strike threats. It's not about shooting endlessly, winning the timing war with a light-speed response. Lasers are not just a new tool, they defend themselves. Reloads and restocking. Lasers can fire as long as there is enough power. Because they travel at the speed of light, they offer a unique fast for mechanical systems to hit. In modern warfare, speed can distinguish between staying afloat and getting hit. Recent Pentagon decisions show just how serious this shift has become. The railgun in 2021 and the GLGP in 2022 to focus on laser weapons. These systems once promised new forms of protection, but now all funding and research have. The message is clear. The Navy is betting everything on lasers. Testing and training have already begun. Sailors are learning to use laser systems in real scenarios, and warship spins. Defense contractors like Lockheed Martin and Raytheon powerful systems that can take down larger and faster targets. But time is short. Zones where Chinese or Russian missiles could strike in minutes, and every delay increases the risk. The USS Gerald R. Reactors is one of the few ships capable of supplying the vast energy demands of high-powered lasers. It's a key testing platform. If laser systems work as planned, they will give Ford a defense and doesn't need to reload. Even the Navy's strongest ship could become a target if they don't. Than a battle over technology, it's a countdown. If the US can master laser defense first, it's ship. But if the breakthrough comes too late, the Navy could lose more than an edge. It could lose entire fleets. The future of naval Navy is betting on lasers to protect its most powerful ships as new threats move at hypersonic speed. Ford shows what's possible, but it's also at risk without advanced defenses. In this race, mastering laser tech isn't. And that's what Navy Secrets wanted to share with you today, bringing you the most honest and up-to-date analysis from top military strategists and political experts. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Yours more high-quality and in-depth content. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you soon.